I'm Pearl of Wisdom, and you are listening to Puckin' Deep with Ron Mont from R&J Media, of course, who's always most often coming in here to bring their takes on all the deep things that are going on in the NHL. Everything from trades and of course, now it's playoffs and rumors or whatever the heck we talk about, happenings and all that. Now, of course, it's playoffs and we got the Eastern and Western finals all lined up. So we're going to be bringing you our takes on uh, both of those finals and what happened in the Buffalo and Montreal series, which was pretty interesting series to go through. Ron, how have you been enjoying the playoffs right now? And what are your takes on this Buffalo Montreal series that just happened?
Well, first of all, I got to say this. Thanks everybody for tuning in and checking us out. Welcome to Puck in Deep, where we know puck. We talk about everything from trades to rumors to playoffs to regular season. We cover the entire NHL. Thank you all very much for tuning in, and thank you once again for having us here. I got to be honest with you, man. This is one of the best times of the year because not only do you have the second season, which the NHL playoffs is like a second sport in and of itself, because you have the regular season and then you have the playoffs, and that's like a whole separate season kind of thing, a whole separate kind of situation as far as I'm concerned. Then you also have the IIHF World Championships as well going on. So everywhere you look, there's hockey. It's a beautiful thing, right? I got to be honest with you. I really was. Look, Buffalo was a great story this year. Okay. I believe that they were a great story. And Lindy Ruff, he's one of the guys that's up for the Jack Adams Award for this year. And I would not even have a problem if he won it. But it just seemed like Buffalo just didn't have enough when it counted. Do you know what I mean? Plus, I also think it was a much tougher matchup with Montreal because Montreal kind of had that same issue where every once in a while they were just kind of lacking, and goaltending on both sides of the aisle were suspect to say the least. Right? I mean, this series went all 7 games, so I mean it was entertaining all the way through, but they were pretty lopsided some of the games. You had one team that was way ahead, one team that wasn't, and you had a goaltender in Dobish in Montreal who plays, has a 14-2-1 record after a loss since March. So all right, I'll take that. But I mean, he hasn't been like, you get to the conference finals of the playoffs, man. You need your goaltender to be like, El Fuego. You know what I mean? And he's just been kind of holding it together.
Ooh, interesting take.
I mean, he also has not exactly had the best plays in front of him either. Montreal's given up a lot of power plays, or, they've taken a lot of penalties. They've given up a lot of power plays. And he's had to face a Buffalo team that spent a considerable amount of time down in their end that were taking point blank shots. I mean, game 7, they were outshot almost 2-1 at one point.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You can't constantly be hanging your goalie out like that. It's gonna hurt every once in a while. And it did, right? It was a 4-3 series. It wasn't like it was 4-1 or whatever. It wasn't like that at all. It was tight. It was close.
Yeah. I personally think if you switched goaltenders put Dobish in Buffalo and both those goaltenders in Montreal, Buffalo finished that series in 6. It's over.
So you think that
Dobish
if
was a way better goaltender than Bog did.
then Lukin and yeah, okay. All right.
He had, I mean, again, you bring up good point. I think you bring up good points about Montreal. Um, when the Sabres were not challenged in their system, like when things were going straight, they were the better team. But what Montreal they seem to do well is they create chaos every once in a while, and they kind of play better in that chaos. And when Buffalo gets into chaos, they seem to
They
fall apart.
yeah,
They
yeah,
just
yeah,
fall
yeah,
apart.
yeah.
They
Perfect
have a
analogy.
system. Wait a sec. What do we do now? Like, and I
Yeah.
think that has a lot to do with growth and maturity to rough system that they took them 2 years to figure out. And now they've just got the basics of it. We were talking about with Philadelphia Flyers. They got that down. And St. Louis said, okay, you know what? We got to find ways to create chaos with these guys. And that's what they did. And I don't even know what Montreal's system is. It seems to be that they just kind of react to whatever is happening and then go from there. It's very it changes all the time. But I agree though, they gave up a lot of shots in a lot of those games and they didn't get a lot of shots, but they were very opportunistic. It was a very weird series to watch. It was a very weird series to watch.
Because it didn't feel like any one team was grabbing a hold of the throat and saying, "All right, this is my series," because it just seemed like it went back and forth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And and even then in game 6, it was like this huge letdown, man, because it was like 8-3. You know what I mean? And they pulled Dovish and the whole 9 yards, right? And then it was like, all right, we're going back to Buffalo for game 7. And and the way they played, like being outshot like that, and then
And then come back and they're shooting a lot. The next game, Montreal is shooting like crazy, and Buffalo. I think it was it the second game at home? All of a sudden, Buffalo thought they didn't have to hit anybody or something.
yeah.
That was weird, dude. It's like, how how is that?
How are
How
you
do you
doing that?
do that? How do
Yeah,
you
right.
all get together and go, we're not going to hit anybody this game? Like,
Okay.
it
Okay.
was
The
so
coach,
weird.
the coach brings everybody together and goes, all right, guys. So nobody hits anybody.
Seemed like it was orchestrated.
You're right. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like in between every period, Ruff would have been like,
Don't
anybody
hit
going to take the
anybody.
body today? Jesus. And
I'm
then the
gonna tell you
next
right
game,
now, right?
they're more engaged and they do. Actually, I think it was 2 games in a row they really didn't. And then the next game they did, and
Look
I
what
mean, kudos
happened.
to Montreal. They did do some stuff where they realized that if and Philadelphia did this to Carolina too, and I imagine when we get to this next series, you're going to see
Yeah.
Montreal try to do it too. They realize that if they can get possession in behind the net, because Buffalo plays a very similar series, a similar
System.
way to Carolina.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
bit, it's different, but same in a lot of ways. If they can get possession behind the net, they can either wrap it around to the defenseman and they can pass it back and forth, or they can do what Philly did and just try to get it right out in front right away. Like that was where the room was, and they figured that out, and they were doing it, and they were successful in that.
Yeah.
And then Buffalo started realizing, okay, we got to start smashing guys behind the net, and they did it for a while, and there was really felt like there wasn't much consistency in both teams' play, but I
Agreed.
felt that Montreal had the more confident energy. Like they felt when like instead of like how many times did Buffalo miss the net? I don't know how many freaking times.
I mean,
And
there
that's
was
usually
many.
because they're tight on their
Yeah.
stick and they're not as
Yeah.
confident. Where
Yeah.
Montreal, when they needed that one goal, they pick a corner. They got it like just above the pad, and so they're feeling it more. That's what I felt in that. But
I think that's a really good assessment of that series there, Perlo. I mean, it just didn't seem like anybody was taking a hold of anything. It did seem like Montreal was playing with a little bit more confidence. You know what I mean, going into that. And I really think that it was. I'm going to be honest with you. It's not going to matter who really, if it would have been Buffalo or Montreal, it could have been Philly. It wouldn't have really mattered. But anybody that's going up against Carolina is just basically going to run up against a buzzsaw. And they've been kicking back now for the last at least 10 days now. Well, resting up, healing up, working out, getting more stronger, getting faster, being that Ron Brindamore machine. And Montreal and Buffalo was not exactly an easy series.
yeah. Yeah.
There was a lot of scuffs and scrapes and bumps and bruises and
It's a 7-game series in the playoffs. I mean, that's not easy. Yeah, it's and that's 2 7-game series in a row for Montreal. They're rolling in on
against a team who's only had to play 8 games to get where it is. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
The only way I've seen, I got to see it to believe it. The only way I've seen Carolina that I thought Carolina could lose a 7-game series against a team. Generally, we'll see what happens if they make it to Colorado, because that's a team that might be able to do it even if they're healthy. Is if they lose their legs. That system is rendered useless when they run out of legs. And that's usually what happened in the Western Finals, because they played all 82, had tough series. They finally got, but this year, Brindamore actually sat players in the regular season. Remember, he took like half the players and the other half played, and then the next game the other half played, and you know it was like, woo! Finally, he takes his stubborn. I don't know what his stubborn attitude was towards it, but he finally did it, and now they're getting rest like this. I don't know, man. I mean, if Montreal can win this series, I,
yeah,
I bow,
right. Okay.
I bow down to you, and you are St. Louis' amazing coach. Dobish is going to have to stand on his head, which he's shown he's able to do. But they're going to get like 40 shots a game, 35 to 40 shots a game.
And Carolina's going to have quality shots. And Carolina's going to just be up in the ante on the machine, because here we are now. We're in the Eastern Conference Finals, and we're 4 games away from the dance.
Yeah.
Right? And so I'm here to tell you, right? Carolina's no joke.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've heard lots of stuff on Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter at Perlo's NHLPOW. I've heard lots of stuff on Twitter about saying that, oh, they just had 2 easy teams against Philly and Ottawa. Okay, Ottawa, if they didn't have that Allmark situation go down, whatever would happen with that, and family stuff. I hope everything, whatever he went through, people judged whatever and heard a bunch of nonsense. I don't know what it was. I don't get into people's private lives, but Maryland did not step up, and they had no goaltending for quite a while. If they didn't have that happen, they're probably playing Montreal in the first round or Tampa in the first round or something like that. Like they were not a bad team. They had to push to make it in, but they were not a bad team. And Philadelphia was the best team in the league pretty much after the Olympic break.
I mean, they dispatched of Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And with Crosby, Malkin, Letang, the whole 9 yards. And I look, I'm not taking anything away from Carolina, and I don't think that they had a soft run to the playoffs.
Mhm.
I don't think anybody gets a quote unquote soft run in the playoffs because there's
Yeah,
no slouch teams in the playoffs. You're playing against the best of the best of the best,
yeah. You could say
right?
they're on paper they like because they were down lower in the standings that they were the weaker teams. But like I said, I mean, Philadelphia was one of the best teams in the league after the Olympic break, and Ottawa, if it wasn't for that, if Ottawa played Montreal or if they played Tampa Bay or something, they would have gave them a go. Montreal wasn't sweeping Ottawa. Not a, I don't think so. I never would bet that.
No. Uh-uh.
People, you're not giving enough credit to how good of a team this Carolina is team with rest in that system and what they are. They dominated Ottawa is not a Ottawa sucks thing. It's Carolina is that good thing.
Because they did this, and even and you look, if you watch those games against the Flyers, Philadelphia punched them in the mouth, drew blood. I
Mhm.
mean, the whole 9 yards, and they were just like, "Hold my beer."
Yeah.
Like they didn't even care.
They just
Like
smothered the crap out of them. Like Philadelphia couldn't get going.
exactly. And I have that feeling that that's what they're going to do to Montreal, and it Buffalo almost made that work.
Yeah.
Okay, and I think Carolina has a somewhat more of a talented team. I think.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and and
Absolutely.
and their back end is way more talented.
The defense is better than Montreal's, I would say, as a whole.
Yeah,
Not overly much. I think Montreal probably has them in the goaltending department, but
that's another.
Montreal against Tampa Bay against that uh, Gunsel, Cirelli, and Hagel line. How many points did they get? Their first line, not very many. They were shut down pretty good in that series and against Tampa Bay, and that line was up against them most of the time.
True, but they did
And
kind of break out a little bit against Philly. They were able to get some more points against
no, I
Philly.
mean I'm talking about sorry for Montreal against
Oh,
Tampa.
oh, 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 I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That Caulfield line was shut down, and that is a lot to do with
Well,
that Sorelli line. It was
yeah,
shut
but
down quite a
Caulfield.
bit
Okay, in that series, Montreal in
in
that
that
series. All
series.
right,
And
yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying that Martinook, Stahl,
Carlo,
and
you called
Ehlers
it.
line is
You,
basically is not as good as that Tampa Bay line, but it's pretty damn close. And if they
but you
decide to put
called it.
Jarvis down there, oh,
You called it. When Montreal made the move to move New Hook
mhm.
to open up his game and let him play on the higher line, dude.
Yeah.
That I mean, that just made. I think that's what made the difference for
Well,
Montreal.
I mean, St. Louis thinks outside of the box. He's like, okay, you're getting crushed defensively right now against these lines. He's a good defensive player, but he's getting crushed.
Yeah,
So he said,
yeah,
the best thing we can get out of you, don't worry about defense.
yeah.
Start flying the zone. We'll use your speed to score. Sure as heck, that's what happened.
That's what happened. Yeah.
Do I think New Hook is going to do this next year in the regular season or anything? No, I don't. I don't think you're seeing the New Hook for the next 10 years. I think you're going to see New Hook this series. People are going to say, what happened to New Hook? What happened to this? What happened? I'll tell you what happened to them. Carolina happened to them.
Duh.
That Martinook, Stahl, and Ehlers line is not as good as that Tampa line, but it's a damn good shutdown line.
I mean, you
And
got
then in
Stahl,
Buffalo,
and
what was the line
Stahl
that
has just exploded in the playoffs, man.
Stahl is an amazing shutdown center. He absolutely deserves a Selkie. Fantastic.
Yeah, I
You put
agree.
Martinook and Ehlers on both sides, man. That is one hell of a shutdown. And then you got, okay, in Buffalo, what line killed him in Buffalo? Benson, Doan, and Norris, right?
Norris. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Well, let
yeah.
me introduce you to Blake, Hall, and Stankoven. Basically the same type of line, just as good. So now you got like the best line from Tampa Bay playing on their third line. You got the best line from Buffalo playing on Carolina's second line. And let me introduce you to Jarvis, Hall, and Svechnikov. Okay. Like, holy crap, dude. That top nine is insane.
You didn't even
Especially playing that type of system
mention
that they
you
play.
didn't even mention the likes of the Sebastian Ahos. I
Yeah,
mean,
well, no, I said the top line of Aho, yeah.
yeah. Oh, okay. All right. All right.
Yeah, you got that line. Okay, now I'll give you Caulfield. Suzuki's incredible shutdown center, incredible all around player. Caulfield's got an amazing shot. I don't know what happened to Slavkovsky. I hope he's not injured for their sake. But I just don't think Newhook's going to be able to get away with what he did against in Carolina.
I don't think I just think that Montreal is just gonna kind of run into that same thing that the other teams that have run into that have played against Carolina, and they just are gonna run into that buzzsaw of Carolina, and it's just gonna get ugly, man. It's
No
gonna be
room to
bloody.
move. I mean,
They clog up the neutral zone.
yeah.
They prevent you from getting out of your zone,
Oh
and
yeah.
then they'll stand you up at the blue line to not even let you get into their zone or your own zone. So it's
Yeah.
like, what? How do you play against that,
They
right?
play man on man all over the ice. So if you're trying to pass the puck up to the blue line, they got a defenseman that's on your butt before it even gets there. And most of them been playing the system so long, it's like instinctive now. They know exactly what to do in every situation. Um, it's I don't know how you penetrate that system. I really don't.
Well, it's like what you said. Philly sort of kind of did it, where
You know,
okay,
down low,
you
they figured
can't
out some
be
ways.
right.
I thought
Okay,
Talker
you
figured out some
have to
ways.
be a skate the puck in type of team against Carolina. You
I
can't be
think
a dump
so.
and chase team. And you need to do exactly with what Perlo said and work that magic behind the net,
Mm-hmm.
right? And draw them so that they come to you down low, so
Mm-hmm.
that you can have more of those shots open from the point.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, okay, but you're gonna have to draw guys away because teams like Philadelphia doesn't have a guy parked in front.
It's hard to get in front with them. Yeah. I
Right.
mean, you got to have defensemen that can skate the puck if they need to out of the zone and be able to. Then you can dump and chase as long as you get there first. But even if you do get there at the same time, they got another
Yeah.
guy on you right away. Like every single one of those forwards will play down low at any time. It's not like you got a Nylander that'll sit out there by the blue line and say, "Hey, how come the defenseman's not giving me the puck?" Or actually, sorry to tell you guys, Caulfield and Newhook sort of do the same thing. None of those guys do that. Not a
Yeah.
one. The only one that gets away with it a little bit is Fetch because he got injured. He doesn't have the speed he had before, and they want a shot on the wing on Svechnikov. Like sort of like for Heggie in Florida is like, okay, we know you're
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
fast
Yeah.
enough to
Yeah.
get back,
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever. But everybody else, if you get the puck away from the defenseman, they're on there like stink on poop, dude. They're all over you. It is
So
it's a crazy hard system to play physically. And if even no matter how much Brendan Moore's tried to condition these guys, they've fallen they have tuckered out by this point conference finals. And once that system tuckers out, then it's useless. But I don't
10
see them
days
being tuckered out
rest.
this time.
10 days rest. He's given his players some rest during the end of the season. He rested players, plus they had a couple days rest in between the first and second round, right? They had like 4 or 5 days rest in
Yeah.
between that round. Right
Yeah.
now, they're getting 10 days rest in between this one and the conference finals round.
Yeah.
Right, you know what I mean? So, needless to say, Perlo, I think we're both
On the same page with Carolina, Montreal.
heavily leaning Carolina on
Yeah.
this one.
The only other thing I can say is people talk about how Anderson's not a great goaltender. But he has been. Playoff Anderson seems to be way different than regular season Anderson. And how many
Look at
pucks
the
is he going
numbers.
to have to stop against Montreal? This is a team that only got 9 shots and won a game against Tampa Bay. They quite often against Buffalo, they were having a hard time getting 20 some shots. Carolina is the best shot suppression team of the last 5 years,
How
every
you doing?
single year. And if you aren't getting shots against Buffalo sometimes, I don't know, man. I could see them having games where they get like 15 shots the whole game. That's it. So how good does Anderson have to be with 15 shots?
I mean, you don't need to really be all that great if you're only facing 15 shots. Let's be honest. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like I mean, there were some stretches there where Philadelphia didn't have a lot of shots either. You know what I mean? And that's the
Well, they
thing.
were the lowest, one of the second lowest shots producing teams in the regular season. So, yeah.
All right. So needless to say, we're leaning heavily on
Uh,
Carolina on this
I
one.
got Carolina sweep 5 and -1.5. I got it's price. I don't know if they're going to sweep, but I could see it. I could see it. I wouldn't.
Dude, if they do another sweep, that would
That'd be
be
insane.
what, the first time that's happened since when was the last time? I
I
think
don't know. When 3 sweeps in a row, I have no idea.
well, I think right now, like the last time that the two sweeps have happened was 1987.
Yeah. Was
Right?
it?
So
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean it's been a while, but if they can you imagine making it to the Stanley Cup
Without a loss.
finals and only playing 12 games
Yeah.
and you haven't lost a single one?
Yeah. I'm
I
not saying
mean,
I'm not saying I'm confident in that, but at the price I'm getting, I'm going to give it a shot. But I think Montreal will find one. St. Louis is such a smart coach; they'll probably find a way. He's going to figure out a way to shoot from different angles on the ice.
they need to
Carolina.
they need to start off by winning a period.
Yeah.
Right? You need to win a period first against Carolina, and then once you can win a period, then you can win another period, and then once you do that, then you can potentially win the third period, which would be the whole game. You know what I mean? So that's how I think you have to approach Carolina. You also, I think, have to do exactly kind of what Philly was doing there towards the end and skate the puck in, be the possession puck or be the
Mm-hmm.
possession of the puck, skate it in, get it behind the net, set up your offense that way and have
Yeah.
more control like that. You
You
know
got
what I
to try
mean?
to win that behind the net battles. That's what I think is Philly did best at. And what was the other thing? I was just going to say. Oh shoot. You got to try to stretch the ice out if you can. Sometimes Carolina can
Against
get
Carolina,
stuck.
yeah.
Yeah, if you can, but they try to want you to do that so they can pick off pucks in the middle. And I also think that right along the half walls, they got to get into they challenge you to get in front of that net and take shots. Like you just have no choice. You got to get there and stay there. So right on the half wall, like if you can shoot it around the boards, get it past Anderson, have a defenseman catch it on the half board on the other side every once in a while. You can't do it every time, but you might be able to catch them on that way. And then when you get the puck, one pass shoot. No
Yeah.
messing around with it. One pass shoot, and
Yes.
somebody is in front of the net immediately. And that is a very physically draining way to play against a team. And they've tried to force you to do that. But I don't think you have much of a choice. I don't think you have much of a choice. It's going to be interesting to see what St. Louis does here. He did do some brilliant stuff in that Buffalo series. and in the Tampa Bay series, bringing in Gallagher at the right time. He really does have a really good feel, and he really has that Montreal team playing with belief. That is one thing for sure. They are playing with belief in themselves, no doubt about that.
So now I have a question for you.
Hmm.
What was the deal with the whole Tortorella thing?
Hmm.
What did he didn't go to the handshake line. He
Hmm.
didn't go to the press conference.
Hmm.
Then they had one or two people at the press conference, and then that was it. And the rest
Hmm.
of the team wasn't a bit. What happened? Why do you do that?
Okay, for me, I thought it was a brilliant coaching move. Um, he's a new coach to the team, and he's trying to build respect and trust with those players. So apparently, the reason why they did that was because they was their expression of their anger towards McNabb getting the suspension.
Okay.
And he said, "Screw them. I don't care about what they want. I care about you guys." He locked the room. "I care about you guys and what we're going to do again. I could get in trouble for this, but we didn't, like." So he's rallying the team and getting respect from the team for backing McNabb. Whether you think he should have got a suspension or not, most players never think their guy gets suspension. He's playing he's playing his cards to get respect and trust from that team. When they give him $100,000 whatever, and that even drives it down even more. He can just say, "I don't care about the 100G. It's we McNabb didn't deserve that," and all that kind of stuff like that. And he can just use that angle to get respect from the team. And I think that's mostly what it was all about. And I think the team backed it. And I think eventually they get that second back, but we'll see. We'll see.
I
That's what I
don't
think it was about.
think so because I don't think they're going to be able to appeal it. I
They
did
did
see.
appeal it. They said no, but they did put a caveat. "We'll give you a certain length of time. And if you do not do this again, we'll consider giving you the second back." So they
I
took
mean,
control of the situation and said, you're never going to be able to use this as an angle again, because we have a contract with the media and all of these things like that. And we can get, I maybe the league can get in trouble if they don't do anything about it too, right?
well, I'm imagining that that's what. See, nobody understands this, but crap rolls downhill.
Yeah.
Right? And so you got all these big giant corporate deals, especially with media outlets, and the NHL is like, "Oh yeah, sure, coach will be there, no problem. Oh yeah, no problem, coach will be there." And coach isn't there, and then suddenly, wait a minute, it's not just a black eye on the team, it's a black eye on the NHL, and blah 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 blah. And now the media outlets all
Yeah.
upset and offended, and
That is,
whatever.
you know what he did though for the media guys? I'm sorry, I talked to David Staples and a couple of the
No,
other guys
that's why I asked you, man,
from the
because I want to
Edmonton. I
know
talked
what's
to
going
David
on.
Staples and stuff, and they were kind of getting on their high horses. I thought there was a high horse about how he was disrespecting the media and all that stuff like that. And I messaged David Staples. He's a journal. He writes for the Journal for the Edmonton Oilers. Good guy, great guy. I'm not putting him down, but
Yeah, no, I follow him.
I said, dude, Torts has been giving you guys gold for years. Yeah, Torts has been giving you something to write about more than pretty much any coach out there. He doesn't give stock answers. He loses his mind. He gives you heydays. And guess what? If he would have showed up to that event, he would have gave you nothing, and you would have had nothing to write about. He gave you gold again. So give the guy get off your high horse, man. The Torts gave you something to write about. Otherwise, he would have went up there and said like a couple short words. It's the playoffs. Those post game things in the playoffs, the coach aren't going to tell you who's injured or what happened or anything like that. They just want to get out of
Well, with the
say,
NHL, they're not really allowed to tell you. They're only allowed to say, yeah, he'll be evaluated. And we'll talk
yeah,
to him
yeah,
in a couple
all the
days.
stock answer, blah blah blah. He would have given
Right.
you nothing like any other coach would. So you like, come on, think about it. Like, and I get it. You need to chastise it for the sake of your reporters and all those kind of things like that. I get it, but let's not go too over the top. I mean, Torts is giving you gold, 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 gold. Should not be unhappy.
So with all this gold that Mr. Tortorella
Now,
is
good chat. Let's
so
transition over to the West.
is
Or to the
so
East. Yeah, to the West.
is so generously giving, he's gonna have to be facing a Golden Knights team.
Or Colorado team, yeah.
The Colorado team that's gonna be I don't know, man. This does not bode well for Vegas,
Yeah,
especially with Stone now being hurt.
that hurts.
Okay. And okay, Carter Hart's been really good so far, but
Yeah, he has.
I just think Colorado is going to be. Look, I'm predicting Colorado against Carolina, and even after all that's being said and done, I'm still picking Colorado to win it all.
Okay, that makes sense.
So that's where I'm at. That's where I'm going. My bracket got totally screwed when I lost with Dallas because I had Dallas winning it all, right? And I was like, well, if it's not going to be Dallas, then it's going to be Colorado. So that's where I'm at. I really think Colorado is real. I think this is a better team than it was the year they won the cup. I really do. I really think this is a better team. It's a deeper team. And I think they have better goaltending with this Colorado team.
That I could agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. Landeskog before his injury, Lehkonen, Nichushkin. I mean, that was a pretty damn good team. I would say that maybe there was a bigger separation in how good they are compared to the rest of the league than this year. Maybe.
Well, was that team as dominant in the regular season as this team was?
No, but I think that has more to do with there's a lot of bad teams in the West.
Okay, but they were still. I mean, look, they
weren't as dominant, no. But there was a lot of more. I think there was more better teams back then. I think a lot of teams here realized that it was Colorado's year, and I think they just kind of said if you're going to retool, this is probably it, because like the Florida Panthers, I think they said we'll give it a shot for a while, but after having 3 finals, they're like, yeah, we're not going to do it this year. And then the West had really, is Seattle a team that should be even close to a playoff team? Or San Jose, it was really fun to watch. What's his name there? Celebrini. But as a team as a whole, seriously, you put him in the Atlantic or even in the Metro, I don't think they're even close to a playoff spot. Yeah.
Probably not.
And the Central too.
But I still think that Colorado would take Carolina in 7 games.
Could be. I think so too. But this Carolina team's scaring me. I thought before the playoffs started, I thought Colorado's going to walk. If I could, I would take them to not lose 6 games, or to lose 6 games or less. But this Carolina team fully healthy, I'm starting to go. So what I did is I took Carolina, Colorado final, Carolina to win, Colorado to win. And so it was plus 950 for Carolina, plus 750 for Colorado. As both of them make it, I'm golden.
Okay, well, there you go.
if you ask me, I would think, what's got me, okay, going into the series, Makar has one wing. He's got a separated shoulder and a bad one at that.
Yeah, and he missed practice too.
Yeah, they got him in a parabolic, whatever you want to call it, chamber, and they're throwing drugs in him and everything. I don't know what they can do today. If that guy comes out and he can move his arm all of a sudden, I'm just like, technology today. Holy crap. But that guy couldn't lift his arm. He couldn't shoot. He was passing off everywhere. And then Lekanen, I don't know. You lose if you're hurt enough that you don't play the last game of game 5 of a series in Minnesota. How good are you coming in here? And there was one other player too that was missing. So those injuries could propose a problem, but if they're healthy, I think Colorado's depth is better than
Vegas.
quite significantly better than Vegas is. Top 6. Maybe Vegas can roll. But once you get to those bottom lines, you're getting pretty thin.
So right, and especially with Stone being out for who knows how long.
Stone's a big one, yeah.
I mean, I get it. You got Eichel, you got Marner. I get it, and those guys have been standout players. I mean, the goal that Marner scored the other night
was so beautiful.
Oh my gosh, man! Right? Come on. Okay, but I just think you have a team like Colorado who has more on the back end that's going to be more preventing of those types of plays happening for Vegas.
Yeah. I think their depth at forward is more like you got a lot like Kadri on the third line, man. I mean, third line center, like that is pretty impressive.
Dude, getting him back, I think Colorado pretty much was already headed to the playoffs when the trade deadline came. You know what I mean? Like there wasn't even a question about the fact. I mean, they are already almost clinched by then. But the fact that they brought him back, and I really think that helped cement that team because it gave them that depth that you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I mean, even their fourth line of Drury. I got to look it up right now, but I'm looking at Kadri. Give me Kadri. You got Saad and Sissons in the third line. I mean, that's not really screaming anything to me. That that is the real problem. No, they can, and if you can dominate those bottom lines, then you got McKinnon. I mean, of course, and Nietzsche's is kind of older dude, but man, he's very good offensively. And is it Kadri? Oh, they got Kadri, Nichushkin, and O'Connor on that third line. My gosh, man, that's insane. And then Parker, Kelly, Drury, and Kiviranta. That's got to be top 3 at least, fourth line in the league. The second line of Colton, Nelson, and Waugh is nothing to sneeze at. Nelson has been having an amazing year, so yeah, it's pretty tough.
And I like I like what Waugh has been able to do this year as well too. He's really kind of come along and. Like I said, I think Colorado is just
in the playoffs. Just going to be his best played in quite a while.
Yeah, I agree. So you're taking the odds no matter what.
Take Colorado.
Okay, Colorado. Okay, all right.
Yeah, so are you, right? Yeah, we both.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I got Colorado winning.
Vegas is really going to play hard for Torts. I really think they're going to, and I think they'll steal 1, maybe 2, because of that. But in
Colorado in 6.
Yeah, 5 or 6. Yeah, something like that. Tighter games than people think. I don't think.
But I think it's still going to be Colorado in 6. And what about Carolina and Montreal?
Oh, Carolina 5. I took the sweep too.
I
I think
I'm
Carolina.
I have to agree with you on that one, Perlo. I would take the sweep.
Mhm.
I
It's
I
hard to
just
sweep a team, but yeah,
well, they've already done it twice, and each time they've done it, they've had some rest in between.
yep.
And they've gotten even more rest now, and so
I think most people are not giving Ottawa credit for how good. I just don't think people are giving Carolina credit for how good of a team they are. And if it would have been Buffalo the one, I would have did the same thing. Either
yeah,
one, it doesn't matter.
yeah,
I would have
yeah.
did the same thing.
I agree.
Didn't
I agree.
matter. Yeah. Montreal. I mean, I think that team is not fully cooked yet.
Okay,
I
I'll
mean,
buy that.
you know, that Demidov kid is going to be a freaking unbelievable player. He
Right,
already is
and
at his age.
Hudson and
Hudson is,
Caulfield, and I
and
mean
then
they've got a great young core.
people putting Hudson up there in the top 4 defensemen in the league. I'm not going to argue with you. I have a tough time figuring out who's 1, 2, 3, 4. They're just all great. But I mean, I'm not going to argue with you about it. Suzuki to me is probably got a couple Selkies in his future and is
Yeah, maybe.
one of the best leaders and overall game that I've seen ever. Like in this, and then Caulfield can pot him like the best of them. Slavkovsky's still got room to grow. And I mean, I think they need. I think Bolduc is better. Is take. He's still young and not kind of big player that plays the type of game he's going to have to play, which I think he'll get to, like a good shutdown winger guy like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Montreal's
think
got a
he's going
lot
to
of
get there.
upside.
I think he's going to get there, and I think that's
Yeah.
exactly what they need. Like I think that team, Montreal fans that are saying, they could be a dynasty. I'm not going to argue with that on that. I'm not going to argue with that.
They've got a great young core
Mm-hmm.
of players. They've got a great coach who
Mm-hmm.
has this team playing above and beyond. You know
Yep.
what I mean? And so
And
even if they lose,
don't look now. Dobish is playing amazing, but they got a prodigy in Fowler there
oh
behind.
yeah.
Like that kid is going to be insane. I
I
think.
mean, even if they lose to Carolina, which we all pretty much are expecting them to do so,
Mm-hmm.
you can't hang your head on this season, and you have got a huge opportunity to look ahead for next year, man. I really like Montreal moving forward.
The future is bright as heck, and they
Yeah,
did it
yeah,
in such a short time. That
they
rebuild was
did.
insane, man.
They did, right? Because the last time they were in the last time they were relevant was 2021, and here we are, 2026. It's only 5 years. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So there you go.
Yeah,
Doing
yeah,
your Are you doing your other show tonight?
I am. I'm
All
doing. You can
right.
catch me on at 10:30. We'll be looking at the series like we just did right now, but we'll doing series bets and we're doing the bets for tomorrow. That's called Rico and Perlo's House of Exotic Jaime's Picks Frolic. And we have one person, Rico Imberry, if you see in the chat there. He's a namesake of the show. He's the starter of the show. And what we do is we show people what professional handicappers do to come to their
What's up,
bets, how we
Rico?
get to them, how we talk, how we get our angles, what reasoning is for it, and all that kind of stuff like that. And we give you great bets to take, and we hit a lot with Jonathan Davis, who is a reporter for the LA Kings. Also, he's on Sirius Radio, the NHL Network Sirius Radio, Monday afternoons. He's on VSiN, very big radio channel for hockey now as well, and sports in
Yeah.
general,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
He's on there every day, and he writes articles on there. Great insider. I call him Statmaster Jay. This guy's got freaking stats. You could ask him like, how many times did Dobish only allow 2 goals in the regular season? He'd be like, like I call him go gadget stat. Go gadget stat. Boom. There you
I
go.
like it. I like it. I like it.
And Parlay Dre Martinez, exotic wagers. He's called Parlay Dre for a reason. I've been handicapping for about 7 years. Parlay cappers are usually not very good, and this guy crushes. I don't know how he does it. He's amazing. There are a lot of guys out there like Andy Francis that are up there with him and stuff like that, but this guy hits like 100 this 10-1 to 151 parlays on a regular basis, all NHL.
Wow.
He's crazy. And between him and Statmaster Jay, he gets the stats. They pile it together. Just watch it. 10:30 p.m. Eastern.
Just go check it out.
Just go check it out. And okay, Ron. Yeah, you're still getting your computer up and running and all that.
Yeah, man, we're still working on that, man. We really appreciate your patience with that. Please continue to have patience. We have a pathway forward. So just be patient with us. We will be back doing shows and things of that nature. So like I said, just hang with us, be patient. We'll be back. RNJ_media on X. Check us out there. Check us out on the YouTube channel as well. Be sure to check out Puck in Deep because we know Puck.
Yeah.
Later.
It's my can't be my full 42 because I got another show to do. But
it's your full 21.
Maybe 36 something.
Well, no, 21 because then you do another show tonight. That's another 21. That's the full 42.
Yeah, but I had to use it all day, right? So
all right. Okay, yeah.
So I've only got about 8% more to go to give to the other show.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah, I had to pull my 14 naps to get energized for all of this.
I added 57. I added 57 from my pool.
Okay, good. All right.
So you can take some of my extra, right? So there you go.
Yeah. People have asked me what that means. Like, what is your full 42? And I'm like, well, when NHL players say they're going to give 100%, and they go, yeah. And I go, well, I've only got 42. I was only given 42 by the forces of nature or God when I was born. So I've only got 42 to give, unfortunately, for me. So, but all 42 that I have, I do give to you.
That's right. That's right.
Every freaking inch of it, all to you, because I love you that much. Catch us next time on Puck in